Slept on Cinema is sponsored by Training Ties, the ultimate shoe tying tool. If you know someone who's struggling with shoe tying for any reason, Training Ties is the perfect solution.
The Gorilla Chiller is clunky, campy, and strangely ineffective.
Some of the most glaringly conspicuous soundstage masquerading as the African jungle ever seen in a major American movie.
This glib, overheated film about vicious primates delivers little suspense.
As you stand there with your $7, ask yourself, do I really want to see a rubber gorilla smoking a cigar?
The least interesting adventure ever filmed.
This movie cost $50 million, and the jungle looks like it's 3 sound stages in a Home Depot plant aisle.
Welcome to this week's episode of Slept on Cinema. I'm your host, Stan Steamer.
And I'm Grove Street.
This week we are getting into the 1995, again, a film that really escapes genre or won't be defined by one genre. I would say a action, quest, sci-fi, thriller, Congo. This movie kicks ass. I hadn't seen this movie in a very, very long time. I remembered one particular item that we'll get to in a bit, but this movie was just so much better than I expected it to be. Like, I remembered that I liked it, but I just had so much fun watching this in preparation for the podcast. So this movie's just a lot of fun. I feel like maybe that's what genre it is. This is a fun movie.
That's perfect, because I didn't remember much of this movie, and kind of similar to you, I saw this in the theater with some friends, and I didn't remember much, a couple parts, but I remember we had a lot of fun. And then we quoted it for a while after seeing it, and watching it again after a long time. You're like, oh yeah, that's right. So the genre fun is perfect for this movie.
Yeah. So this movie, like all movies we review on the podcast, is at or below 50% on Rotten Tomatoes for both critics and audiences, which is unbelievable as usual. And the podcast is structured so that the first half is spoiler-free, talk about some things to look for in the film, take a break, go watch the film, come back and talk about what we just saw. Want to hit us with the rotten premise?
Rotten premise. Scientist Karen Ross is sent by her father-in-law, mogul R.B. Travis, to the Congo to determine whether whereabouts of his son's missing diamond hunting team. Led by expert guide Kelly, Ross and a mismatched search party, including primatologist Dr. Peter Elliott, treasure hunter Herkimer Homolka, and a gorilla, discover a danger far more sinister than anything they expected to find, even in the heart of the jungle. Critics score 24%, and audience somehow below 30%, below our 50 cutoff at only 29%. So 24% and 29% for this movie. Bonkers.
Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Because this movie, I feel like it has something for everyone. Like, I just can't imagine how you would watch this and say, like, no, that's not for me.
Because even one part of the movie is going to be for you. There's a couple different, It's split up into a couple different movies within one. So one aspect of this movie if you like movies, named Congo,
yes,
you're going to like some aspect of this movie.
Yeah, I guess only if you were like, I only like a very narrow slice of movies and the entire movie has to be exactly that. That would be the only scenario I could say that somebody is justified in not liking this film.
You cut off.
So the movie opened up June 9th, 1995, and I, like Grove Street, also saw in the theaters, which is it's a great movie to see in the theater. And great to be back here. Open number one, right back on top, took in $24.6 million its opening weekend. Overall took in $81 million. I think I didn't find these exact numbers, but a roughly $50 million budget. So I think this gets a lot of heat for being a bust, but I don't really think that it was. So I think it certainly could have done better, but I think this film still did quite well. And some of the reviews touched on this, but it's based on a 1980 book by Michael Crichton. I think maybe a lot of people were sort of saying, well, is this going to be the next Jurassic Park, that kind of thing. So maybe that's what people's expectations were. And Jurassic Park is just an all-timer. So to compare it to Jurassic Park, if that's your baseline comparison, like, you're going to have a hard time liking any other movie. But some interesting things about the book and how this film came to be. So Michael Crichton had also written the Great Train Robbery book and the screenplay for the film that came shortly after that. And he directed the film too, and it starred with Sean Connery. And he, I guess, just had a great time working with Connery, as, like, how could you not? the movie was also a big success. So Crichton wanted to create a sort of pulpy adventure story that was written for Sean Connery. So Sean Connery would be the star. So he made this screenplay with the idea that Sean Connery would be the star and that he would play the Captain Monroe Kelly role here, which is played by Ernie Hudson. But this was designed for Connery. But when Crichton learned that he couldn't use an actual gorilla in the filming, he apparently decided to leave the project. So it sort of just it kicked around Hollywood for a little while, and later got made without any involvement from Crichton. So I think he obviously wrote the book, but in the screenwriting credits went to some other folks, and he was just not involved at all. So that's kind of a funny way to how we got here, and I think also fun to note that the gorilla suits were designed by our main man Stan Winston, who this is now our third, I believe, Stan Winston film. Lake Placid was our first, which was just fantastic, and that was I think the one where they maybe even had the creature first and then made the film, but then also The Relic. So for those who haven't heard all of our other episodes, Stan Winston is probably the GOAT in terms of practical effects for creature features and a number of other genre films. So great to have him here, and you can tell. I mean, the gorilla costumes are just awesome.
And, if you can't get a real gorilla, second best, I think, is Stan Winston making you the gorilla suits.
Totally.
That's
yes.
the best you can do. They were great in this. I think it had most people convinced at the time that it was real, that they were not people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially if you're watching this on VHS and your standard def television, look pretty real.
Yep. Bolos in this, I'm curious. I struggled. Only a handful for me. It was a small, not many bolos for me for this movie, but
I'd say it was medium to large for me.
Nice.
But I mean, I guess now that I'm looking at it, it's not a ton, but there's a lot going on in this film.
I think I just get caught up watching it every time. It's not, maybe it's just that. I'll go first since I have less, but Bolo, Bruce Campbell.
Yes. There's a lot of great, the cast in this film is amazing. There's a lot of just great bolos. I'll just run right through that. Bolo, Joe Don Baker, is one of my favorite character actors. And I think he's one of these actors that when you see him in a film, it gives you credibility. So I personally think of him as the police detective or police officer in Fletch, which is one of the greatest movies of all time. So whenever I see him, I'm like, oh, it's the guy from Fletch. But he was also in Walking Tall, Cape Fear. And interesting, he was in multiple Bond movies. In some where he played a villain and some where he played a CIA agent. So totally different characters, but multiple Bond movies, which is not that many people can say they've done that. So Bolo, Joe Don Baker.
That's a great one. Bolo, a test coming back positive?
Very positive. I'm going to just keep rolling through with my actors here. But this one is a little tough to see. But Bolo Misty Rosas.
Oh.
You can't actually see her, but she plays Amy the Gorilla in this film. And it's interesting, this was the first film she had ever done, and she went on to have a pretty successful career, both as herself and a voice actor and as a actor in a suit. And she played a couple different characters in The Mandalorian, but this was her big break. And she does great. As you said before, the gorillas are very, very lifelike and realistic. So kudos to Misty.
Yeah, I'm glad you touched on her. I had some notes on her as well, but yeah, pretty impressive career. She's a couple characters in, like you said, The Mandalorian, the mechanic who helps him in the first one. I forget his name. He plays that one, but pretty impressive. Bolo, One Eye.
Yes. Bolo, a very 90s font. That opening font. You'll see it soon.
Bolo, always fun. 3D glasses. Not meant for movies.
Love it. Yes. Bolo, a geode, also one of my favorite things on Earth.
Seemed like you'd be into geodes. That makes perfect sense. Bolo, I don't know, there's a lot of these where you just put a gorilla in front of it. So Bolo, gorilla sign language.
There are, certainly as we'll get to in our superlative as well. The gorilla has a lot of action here. Bolo flares.
Oh,
love a good flare. There's a lot of things in this movie that are also things that I just like. Maybe that's why I like the movie.
And Bolo flares not being used as intended.
Yes.
So cool. I guess, bolo bones.
Mm-hmm. Piles of them.
Piles of bones.
Bolo a laser. Just keep running on the things that are awesome list.
Piles of bones must be like an Indiana Jones thing. Like there's a pile of bones.
Yes.
It's a good movie. Bolo, a husband and wife.
Yep. Bolo Doom, the video game, not the sense of foreboding, but that was one of the great 90s computer games, video games. So Bolo Doom.
Lost a lot of hours to Doom. Tried to sneak it in during school when they didn't quite know. It worked. Bolo, a drugged banana.
Yep, you got to watch out for those. Bolo, a machete. And not only that, I have one right here.
Whoa.
Yeah, it is a real machete. So some people, I think, like to keep a baseball bat nearby for home protection. But I actually think the machete might be one of the best home protection things you can have, because I'm not a gun guy. I feel like a lot of accidents can happen with a gun. I don't really want to get into that. But a bat is good. You can't usually accidentally hit someone over the head with a bat. But someone can just grab the other end of the bat, pull it from you, and then your intruder has the bat. But you can't really grab the other end of a machete because it'll cut your hand.
Right.
But it's still like you don't have to get super close to somebody to like stab them. You can just whack them with the machete. So I think more people should have machetes.
It's a great deterrent too. If you see a machete, like it's too much thinking. You got to figure out what to do with the machete. You're probably just going to flee at that point.
You see someone with a machete, you're like, this person is insane. Like, you never mess with someone with a machete.
They've been here before, and they know that a machete is the correct. They'd use other things, but the machete is the choice. So yeah, I think that's the perfect home invasion weapon. I might go buy one now. I don't understand why I wouldn't have a machete.
Yes,
I've always been a hot.
I highly recommend.
Machete's going to win. Bolo, this seems dangerous. I even get nervous doing this to my dog, who's great, but tickling a gorilla. Just be careful.
Yes. You never know what kind of reaction you're going to get. Bolo, just piles of cash.
Bolo, a sudden sing-along.
Bolo, a hippopotamus.
So cool. Bolo, compassion.
Bolo, snakes. So you can't have a jungle movie without snakes.
No, it's one of the best parts of the jungle movie is how they're going to show a snake.
Oh, yeah.
And some wild cats. I'm all out of bolos.
Let's see. I go Bolo, a putter. That was a fun one. Bolo, Delroy Lindo. Awesome. Another cameo there. I have one more, but I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it for later.
Nice.
Might be a draft pick.
Ooh. We'll get to what drink to pair with the movie. I'll go first just because it's obvious for me. Just one martini. Heavy on olives.
Yes. I had the exact same thing written down. And sometimes it's just obvious. Like sometimes there is a right answer, and the right answer is one martini. And a couple reasons too, because as you'll see in the film, it puts you in the film. It's great when you can just relate to the film just one-on-one like that. But also, it kind of like so many things in this movie, you don't need to have a martini with this movie, but why not have a martini with this movie?
Yeah.
Just like every other element of this film, it doesn't need to have all these fantastic elements, but why not?
Yeah.
Just go for it.
Doctor says just one is okay. Yeah. It's okay.
So that's 100% the answer. Mix yourself up a martini, sit back and just enjoy the ride.
We'll enjoy, and we will see you on the other side.
Yeah, enjoy.
Activate the remote.
In the race for the world's most advanced communications technology, a shocking discovery has been made.
What was that?
Lock your remote. Give me a thermal reading result to 6.6.
It will take two young scientists into the heart of the African jungle, where a secret hidden for 2,000 years holds the key to the future. Some will come to it for science, some for fortune.
A diamond mine of incredible bounty.
And some to return home. Together, they will search, drawn deep into a mystery. And the more they discover, the greater the danger. From the best-selling novel by the author of Jurassic Park, Congo. where you are the endangered species.
Welcome back. As you just saw, we were not messing around telling you that this was a genre-defying, action-packed, totally stuffed movie. It's had everything in it. It was that was just so much fun.
It's nice going back to these movies that you think you like. You're not sure. You know you had a good feeling around it. Like we said, we remember having fun. And then you come off it and you're like, oh, wow, I just watched it 3 times. And it's exactly what you thought I remembered. It's a fun movie to watch. I can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, so we were just saying in the break, for the draft, I have so many different things I could pick. And to me, I guess there's not an overall one of one, but there's like a dozen second round picks or, first round picks, whatever it is. There's a lot of great options here. For me, first overall, and I could probably get this at anywhere in the draft. Maybe it doesn't even get picked. But this was the one thing that stuck with me back from 1995 all the way to today. So this is over 30 years of this memory. And when I thought of Congo, this was the only thing that jumped in my mind. It's in that early scene in the jungle. It's the eyeball. When that eyeball comes rolling out and the guy picks it up, it's one of those film elements where you see that and you're just like, all right, buckle up. I see where this is going, because it shows you this is going to be action. This is going to be sort of somewhat terrifying, but it's also a little campy. Like there's just a human eyeball comes rolling out. It's just, this is, what you're getting with that eyeball. That's what I remembered. And if something sticks with me for 30 years, I don't see how I could take anything else.
Yeah, it's funny. That's I remember that from like the trailer. And the cool part is the eyeball rolls out to Bruce Campbell too. So like the guy yelling is so good at yelling. That whole that whole scene is so perfect. And you're right. Like that 5-second clip can tell you everything you need to know about that movie. It is a little camp, but it's a little bit fun. It's in the jungle. It's a little bit gory, but not too gory. It's everything. That's a great first pick. And if you see that, like you said, that you just know what you're into. Well, maybe there was a first overall pick. That's good. And that might not have been taken too. I'm gonna put these two together, but I want to give one as shout out specifically. But my first pick, I'm taking Tim Curry. It's just a guy that comes up in a movie and you go, oh, all right. And every single time if Tim Curry's in a movie, I cannot imagine disliking a movie or his role even in him, just to see what accent he does. It's a blast. So some movies, of course, that you might remember him from: Rocky Horror Picture Show, of course. He's the original clown in It. Home Alone 2, I think everyone's favorite, one of his favorite roles. Loaded Weapon, very underrated role if you haven't seen it. It's a Lethal Weapon like spoof.
Oh, yeah.
Muppet Treasure Island, Clue, McHale's Navy. It is just like, it goes on and on and on. And then he just does all this voice work and stuff. So Tim Curry, for me, his accent in this movie is phenomenal. Every line, he plays the character, Hector Hamoko from Romania. It's just so perfectly the smugness that he brings into every role, but also being like, underneath it, he's just kind of like hollow and out for himself. And it's just perfect. I just got to go Tim Curry. He's just great to see in the movie.
Yeah, that's an amazing pick. I mean, he's one of those actors that both has this like immense range. I mean, those roles that you just listed off are unbelievable. So he has this immense range, but there's also something very Tim Curry-esque about every single performance. So it's like he somehow harnesses both of those. Like he can kind of be any role, but also there's some like consistency across them that is just fantastic. And it's on display here. It's the voice, it's the accent, it's the facial expressions. You can just tell he's having fun with it, and it makes it fun to watch.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. You can tell underneath there's always like a little smile inside of him. So you're right. It does make it super fun to watch. And I know he's part of the cast, but my second overall pick, I got to go with just the cast. It felt like it was a sprint. Yes. And there was, we have to hand the baton, or Lord of the Flies where there's a con. So just handing off to all these character actors. So Laura Linney is phenomenal, of course. We start with Bruce Campbell, Tim Curry, Joey Pants was in there all of a sudden. The Eddie he just pops in a couple times. Ernie Hudson, who is just ridiculous in this like I don't know, like above it all role that he had in this. He did, the coffee guy, you remember from Dante's Peak? Misty Roses, of course. She also played another gorilla in the movie Instinct with Anthony Hopkins and Cuba Gooding Jr. So this got her start gorilla career. Delroy Lindo just dropping we'll get to it later, but maybe the best line of the movie. It's just, and it was just like one after another, and there's no reason for these people to be in this movie and in the jungle. And it's just like, having not seen it in so long, when you watch it, it's just like, oh, that guy, and it just kept popping up. So the cast.
Yeah, that's an amazing pick. I mean, it was one of these things, as you're watching the film, you're like, and he's in this, and she's in this. It was just it was almost unbelievable. And in a lot of ways, it sort of mirrors the approach to the plot as well, right? It's like, they just put everything, like no one said no to anything in this film. And they're like, and what if we got this other amazing actor or actress? And they just said, yes, let's do it. And it really worked out. Like, it doesn't, despite having all these like amazing actors and amazing plot points, it doesn't feel overstuffed. It's just like stuffed in the best way possible.
Yeah, they got these like little roles that seem like they would be like, oh, what would be the perfect character actor for this, like, 7-line role? Oh, let's get the best one there is right now to have that role. It was almost like my wife and I were just watching it was like a new one on Netflix with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and they had like all their friends do like little bit parts in it. It's like just a Netflix like crime thing that just came out in 2026, 2025. And it seems like that, like this is someone's friends making the movie, and they just get all of their friends who are also big actors to just pop in for like a role in this movie. There's so many of them.
So my second overall pick, man, this is tough. I think I'm going to go with the performance by Ernie Hudson, Captain Monroe. And his performance in this is like on another level. Like, I feel like he should have been nominated for supporting actor in this. Maybe he's not on screen enough. Like, maybe there even needs to be another like Academy Award for like, because it's not quite a cameo. It's like but it's not quite a supporting actor, but there should be some recognition of the type of actor or actress that does what he did here. I mean, every time he's on screen, he has this like presence that is amazing. And it made so much sense to me after I learned that the sort of movie and the book was originally written to be a focal point of that character, because you could see him like just drawing the viewer's attention whenever he's on screen and just sort of moving the plot forward. And he was so perfect in that role. All his mannerisms and the way he talked and the way he dealt with the other characters in the film was just perfect. Like, he wasn't, you could tell he sort of very much knew what he was doing, but he wasn't like disrespectful of other people that didn't know what they were doing. He was always in charge. He seemed always under control in a just crazy set of circumstances. And he was just, he blew me away. I thought of all the performances in the whole film, I thought he was the best. I thought he just absolutely crushed it.
I wrote him down as a possible draft pick as well. And that it all makes more sense now too, with your background on the first half, as far as his role possibly going to Sean Connery, being written for Sean Connery. Like, his role had so much, like you said, like depth to it, and he handled each character very well in a very graceful way. Even Hamoka, he was able to handle him well. And it was much more to his character than you would expect. So it was awesome. I loved his line, "I'd run a few guns, you sons of bitches, ruin the world," when the scientist was trying to like give him guff. And he just kind of like, he played that sort of like, I'm a gun runner, but like, whatever, you think you're better than me. And he just has like this, he carried that role very well. Awesome pick.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's almost like a throwback role. My third pick, I'm going to take the Delroy Lindo scene where they're sort of negotiating in the converted hotel. I enjoyed that scene so much. You could tell, like, I had the feeling of like, we're just going to put all these great actors at a table in a room and just let them cook. Like, you could tell they were having fun with this. You very quickly got the sense that there's more than meets the eye in terms of what we thought the relationship of these characters was. Suddenly things are becoming clear that, oh, there's a background. These people have a history. The whole scene with the cake and the bags of money and these sort of subtle negotiations going on throughout, and power dynamics, was just great. And there was no reason that Delroy Lindo had to be in that scene, yet they put him in there and he just absolutely crushed it. It was just such a fun scene to watch. It was awesome. So going with that, pick 3.
So good. There was a powerful scene of so many good actors in that scene. I like how they kept the backstory of the Congo president and the bomb and how it's going to be such a problem for the country. He's going to be in, dog shit for 2 years. And they kept that line. They didn't need to keep that going or keep that role so strong. Yep. And the sesame cake part was just like, I think he had the liar, liar, pants on fire and the stop eating my sesame cake line in that scene, which could have been the trailer alone. And he was only in it.
Yes.
In that, another one like this, like he was in it way less, of course, than Ernie Hudson. But if you just saw his scene, you'd think it was his movie, that he was like, this is a movie about his
100%.
role in the Congo and having to deal with these people coming into his country and in and out. But like, so good and so unnecessary, but so good.
Yep.
All right. Now my third pick here. I have like 6 things written down. I'm going to pick this because a lot of people hated it. I loved it. They couldn't get a real gorilla. That's fine. I bet that's safer for everyone on set. I'm sure the actors are like, phew, we couldn't get a real gorilla. We can all relax a little bit and no one's going to actually get hurt because that stuff happens all the time. But I'm going to pick Amy the gorilla being played by a person. And I think all the gorillas being played by people. I thought that was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, it was real. Like, it seemed real because you said before, like, you're watching it on VHS, and it's like, it all blends in, and you're used to all and it's better than it used to be. Jason and the Argonauts or whatever else was going on, Planet of the Apes, like, it was better than that. So I just think that, and now looking back on it, adds a little level of humor because it's in HD, and you can see it a little bit better. But just the mannerisms they could do and the functionality of having a person in there. I got to go with Amy.
I was never taken out. I never felt like I was removed from watching it. It was always like, that looks certainly real enough to keep me engaged.
And by like the third time watching it, now I'm impressed. But that's like a person in there. And the mannerisms are so on point with the gorilla. So with the actress, Amy, you had said, so whoever you said, but the actress who plays Amy, it's incredible. And my sleeper pick, which could have been my first overall pick because I'm not sure where this falls in the rankings of our weapons, but the diamond gun might be up there with the razor with the coolest weapon we had on the podcast. It takes an elusive diamond from the Solomon era BC to the perfect diamond to make the most functional diamond gun laser that can poke holes in the moon. This weapon's insane. So
unbelievable. Yes,
the weapon.
That's an amazing pick. It's also the usage of it. Like, we see it so early in the film, and like, there's like, this is way too cool only to be seen once. And then when it comes back in the climax at the end, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Chekhov's laser gun.
Yeah, exactly.
It is so good. I have a anti-pick.
No, let's hear it.
Hot springs. At the beginning, they have to hop in the hot spring and go like under the cave to get into like whatever. And then I don't know if you've been on like a vacation and there's like a thing you have to go hike to a hot spring and hop in. It's part of it's horrible. It's too many people, touristy, it's slippery. It's always too hot. I'd rather it's a long adventure. There's bugs. I have no desire ever for hot springs. It's always something that perks everyone else up. Oh, I have hot springs.
Yeah. I've never been to a hot springs. Before this conversation, I feel like I kind of wanted to check it out just because it kind of seemed cool, right? It's like nature's bath. I mean, I'm not a bath guy, but something about it coming from nature seemed kind of cool. But I would definitely want it. I would want no one else there. Like, I don't want to be like, it's like when you're at a hotel and they're like hot tub, like this is fun, but then like some other random people show up and you're like, well, now this is weird.
It's weird. And to be, for the record, some are a little more, private. And my view of things is often very different from others, because many people do enjoy the hot spring experience. But for me, my anti-pick is never like, oh, come on in. It's actually nicer than it looks. Don't worry. You're not going to get boiled alive. I don't need that. How deep is it? Is there a place to sit? How do we get out? Everyone wants to stay longer than you. No thanks. All good?
All right, my sleeper pick here. I can't decide. I have two. One is a sleeper and one is a deep sleeper. You know what? It's our podcast. I'm just going to take both.
Nice.
I'm going both. So my sleeper pick, not my deep sleeper, but my sleeper pick is having a quest. I think Tim Curry's character, Herkimer Homolka.
Yep, nailed it.
I don't speak Romanian. The fact that he's had this lifelong quest, I mean, that just seems, I just can't imagine something as satisfying as finally achieving your lifelong quest. And it doesn't work out for him, yes, but he died having achieved his lifelong quest. I feel like that's going out on top, even, despite how he did actually go out. But like, even if you don't achieve your quest, just even having a quest is something that I feel like very few people get to have. And I think there's just something fantastic about having that lifelong quest.
Totally agree. And this movie may have misperceived the poetry around his character a little bit, because you're right. People may see that as like, oh wow, he got what was coming to him. But for the entirety of his life, he didn't even think that no one else thought that city existed. There were no killer apes. There was no diamonds. It was all fake. And it was just his belief that it existed. And then it was finally proven true. His quest was true. He was holding the diamonds. At that point, it's almost like winning the championship. You're like, oh, I mean, you find out that life was actually about the pursuit of the quest, being on the quest. Afterwards, you kind of loses its meaning.
Yes.
So maybe the best time to die is right after you achieve your quest. You get double smashed by a gray ape. And that's what everyone should get when they reach their quest. Because then you just sit around being like, oh, that quest was awesome. No.
Yeah.
That was a great way to go. That was very poetic. He reached the mountaintop. That was it. Time to go.
Yep. 100%. I think he went out on top. He achieved his life's quest and boom, done.
I think we have to wait till our kids are older, maybe, to get really involved in like a lifelong quest at this point. We can't start it now.
Yeah, probably not. But if one comes along, you certainly can't disregard it.
Well, but then it comes along, you have to push everything else aside and become the quest.
So my deep sleeper, and I don't know the word for this, but easy access office tools. And I think tools isn't quite the right word, but I mean like scissors or a stapler or like whatever it is, tape, whatever it is. Having easy access to those is one of the greatest things. Like this comes in this film, Delroy Lindo, they're having that scene that we talked about before. But he all of a sudden, he puts all this money in a bag. He just pulls out a stapler to staple his paper bag shut. Why was there a stapler there? I don't know. But having that easy access, because he needed that stapler. You don't want your bag of cash to just get tipped over and then your thousands of dollars are gone. You need a stapler, and he had one. We're making a point in our house. We have scissors everywhere. There are just like, you're never more than like 10 feet away from a pair of scissors, because it's when you need a pair of scissors, you don't want to go hunting for it. And I love that. And this was very similar. I feel like that guy knew exactly what he needs to have. He probably has staplers stashed all over the place because he's picking up, payoffs left and right. You got to make sure that bag is sealed shut. Love that.
How was your home office up in? Are you perfectly set up with all the tape and the clips and everything? Yeah, I would imagine it's pretty.
I have multiple. I got like the stapler for like 1 or 2 to 20 sheets. I got the stapler that then goes up to like 40 or 50 sheets for that heavy duty stapling work. Scissors, multiple kinds of tape. You never know what you're going to need. Multiple kinds of paper clips, of course.
I don't think I could be farther from that. I would, and having worked in an elementary school for a while, there was many teachers who were so good at having everything in their desk, like the stapler and the scissors, and then backups and paper clips and everything, and right folders. And even if I borrowed something, they would have a backup for this. It's like a type of person that is just always prepared within their spots, and it's impressive. So, props to you and people who are prepared, like Delroy Lindo, like that. Superlative favorite gorilla move in the movie. Do you have one that stands out?
So there are so many great choices. I think the one that made me laugh the most, and I know we've already covered it, but when he has that one martini, or when she has that one martini on the plane, that just really did it for me. I almost went with smoking the cigarillo or whatever it is in the truck, which is also a great one. But just that first martini, it's just great.
That's the win, and they added, of course, the burp, and then there's the conversation going on across, like, diagonal from them of Laura Linney and Tim Curry, just like,
yep.
All right, I guess this is happening. So it's got to be that. It has to be. I almost did the FU, like the FU sign languages of flipping the bird from Amy. I thought that was great, but when the cigar was close, but it has to be. I think it's the stem is what puts it over the top on the martini glass.
Yeah, right. Yes, exactly. The way she was holding that martini glass was just, they nailed it.
Bumper sticker. What line from this movie would you most like to see on the back of someone's car as a bumper sticker?
I thought there were some great choices in this film. I wanted to go with, I feel the money hairs in the back of my neck going woo woo, and really thought about taking that, but then it occurred to me that you would need like a full length bumper sticker to be able to make it legible by the car behind you for the font to be large enough. And then, of course, it occurred to me, like, why are bumper stickers that sort of standard bumper sticker size? Like, who came up with that size? And why aren't there bumper stickers that span the entire length of your car? That kind of, now that I'm saying it out loud, seems like that should obviously exist. But since it doesn't exist, I'm going to go with something else. It's pretty pithy, simple here. I'll be human later. Throw that on your car and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I had that as one of my options as well. That's a great one. I'll be human later. What's going to happen now? We'll see. I don't know what this is, but I'll be human later.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't think it really applies, but if you've seen the movie, it does. And I think it's just, if I saw this on the back of someone's car, it would make me say it out loud. So stop eating my sesame cake. I think I would just need maybe a little crumble on the side to know that it's having fun, but stop eating my sesame cake. I would just love to see that on the back of someone's car.
Yep. I would love that. I would like follow that person home and like give them a hug. Leave my machete in the car, but
it's like they know how to control their anger really well, but they have a lot of anger.
Yes.
Yes. I almost did relax. You're in better hands than you should be. I like that view of society. I think in the car, but I'm gonna go with sesame cake. The length, 1 hour and 43 minutes. What do you got?
It's pretty perfect. Pretty perfect for all they put into this film to get that done in 1 hour and 43. I think they pretty much nailed it in my book.
That's what I got. I got perfect. One change to be a blockbuster. What one change from this movie would make it even more of a blockbuster?
I had a tough time here because I thought they just pretty much nailed this film from top to bottom. The only thing that I thought would make it a little bit better is in the book, and this would probably have to add to that runtime a little bit, but in the book, they get into more of detail about how the angry apes at the end that are guarding the diamonds are actually ape-human hybrids that were developed like thousands of years ago and bred thousands of years ago, which raises all sorts of questions about how they did that. But I kind of wish they spent a little bit more time on that. They talk about how the apes were bred to be angry and vicious and whatnot, but they veer away from this ape-human hybrid concept, which I feel like is pretty interesting. So yeah. I guess the change I would have liked to seen would be to add that back in from the book and spend a little time on that plot point.
Yeah, they definitely hinted at there was one pile of bones that was, gorilla bones, right? So that they were, if they were like cannibalized and eating each other and becoming something other. So that would, that leads into what I would want, I think, which would be, I'm not sure this would make it more of a blockbuster because the reason they don't do it, but make it R and make it horror. So maybe this combined creature, whatever it was in the Crichton book that I didn't read, could be more of that scarier, hybridy thing that isn't just kind of just a meaner gorilla. The gray ones were just a little bit, meaner, but it could have been cool if they were some sort of hybridy thing like apparently the book was.
Yeah, I think if they make this movie today, it's rated R. Yeah, no question. I think that this was that era where like teenagers were thought to be like the driver of dollars and butts in seats in theaters. And I think the thought was, if you're making a movie like this, it has to be PG-13. But I think that's right. I think it's a better movie when it's R, and they would do that today.
But we probably wouldn't have both seen it in the theater if it wasn't.
That's true.
R.
That's true.
And have different memories of it. But that's yeah. But as adults now, if they're going to make it, I want to see this as an R for sure. Spin-off ideas. You got any?
So this flows from one of my draft picks, but I just thought that Captain Monroe character was so good and also clearly has a history. And the fact that this was written to be this like pulpy adventure story with Captain Monroe, those like the tradition of those pulp novels and stories is you sort of have a character that then just has a bunch of different adventures or stories or whatever it is. And you don't have to read them in order. You don't necessarily need to know what happened in another. So I want the adventures of Captain Monroe. I want it to be that classic pulpy serialized set of stories that follow him around that you don't, yes, there might be some arcs that span different stories, but you don't need to see them in any particular order or have seen the prior ones to see it. Just give me his adventures throughout Africa, Asia, the whole world. Because this guy was, this character was fantastic. So I think there's a lot of room for that, just adventure tales with a character like this. And I don't know why that isn't a thing right now.
Yeah, he's such like an overly developed character that's so underutilized, and he's so unique in that he's not. You can tell it's written for someone else, or it's just like no, he's not swayed at all by the money. He's never even involved with like the diamonds, the same chase. He's a gun runner or whatever it is, but he doesn't even care when she throws the diamond. He's like he just does one little noise or whatever, but it's not really about the riches of it. It's about the adventure, which is so cool because it seems like this could have been his movie, and this was just a chapter, and he goes off on the hot air balloon and then goes into the jungle again, and it's some other adventure.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be an entire like series of his adventures. That's great. I would definitely watch that. Mine is it's not developed or anything, but when Mr. Hamoka was telling about the fall of the city of Zing, that sounds absolutely incredible. These trained hybrid gorilla humans that are there to protect the diamonds of King Solomon turn on the teachers who have written hieroglyphics about how much they're watching the gorillas, and then the fall of this entire diamond mine taken over by the subjects of the gorillas from too much overteaching, whatever. Just the fall of the city of Zing, where apes take over this entire ancient temple or whatever, would be insane.
Yep.
I would love to watch that.
It's shocking that wasn't made, right? I mean, now that I'm hearing you say this out loud, I don't understand how this wasn't made. It seems so obvious.
Yeah.
It's all right there.
We got time, and it's just set up as a prequel, relaunch Congo. We got the diamond gun. We're back.
Yeah. I can't wait to see this.
We'll wrap up our last segment, tying up loose ends, sponsored by Training Ties. Do you have any extra notes we didn't get to?
I did just love the random arc of and they sent another plane, and it's like you see the plane get hit by the missile or whatever, and then for like 10 seconds they walk by and they're like, oh, they sent another plane, and like there's no reason, like that doesn't move the plot along in any way, but again they just stuffed it all in there.
Oh,
same for there being a volcano, right? Like there does not need to be a volcano, yet it makes that end scene so much better.
Yeah, that was good. I liked how they had to show that like fake humanity, like, oh, this unnecessary loss of human life from that. But the good thing is that shoehorned in something I almost picked, which is bazooka as a sleeper, which is bazookas at a plane. Like when you're any movie that has like someone on the ground and it's not like that good of a bazooka, it's barely heat seeking and it's just popping around them. That's so much fun dodging that. And then seeing one, theirs didn't get hit when they were in it, and you got to see one get hit and crash. It was totally unnecessary, but
yes, completely
perfect. And I guess it just adds to like the level of menace behind the main villain, your favorite character actor, guy just being like, yeah, this is definitely not about the sun. this is about the diamonds, but it's so
Yep.
unnecessary. I have a question.
This movie brought back a great nostalgia point for me. The sort of automatic machine guns that they set up the perimeter of their campsite just made me think of GoldenEye, the video game. Not the movie, but the video game. And the countless hours I spent destroying those that I could safely get through a level. But love anything that makes me think of GoldenEye 64.
I like that. I wasn't a GoldenEye person, but I was Call of Duty Black Ops, and that made me think of the Sentry gun. So it made me also think of video games with that scene. So I guess just like that automatic Sentry gun thing is just this movie, just cool gadgets.
Yep.
I have a question, my final note for you. So
let's hear it.
let's assume we're going to die. You're going to die from something when this happens. But let's assume you get
safe assumption.
You get dropped into the Congo from this movie. What ultimately kills you? It doesn't have to be something you see, but you're dropped into the Congo. And what do you think will kill you specifically in the Congo? It doesn't even have to be from this movie, but you're dropped in the Congo.
I mean, like, the realistic answer is probably something dumb, like a mosquito bite that has, like, dengue fever or something.
Yeah.
But it's like you'd almost want it to be something more exciting than that. But I feel like I'm going to go with, like, a mosquito bite.
Yeah, I mean, that's funny. I think a lot of people would say, like, you get a wild cat or a lion. Or I have bugs, too. Yeah, bugs will get me. Mosquito bite and bugs. I don't think they never... This is the thing in these, like, adventure movies where they don't talk about how horrific the bugs would be in these jungles. No one's going like this, getting in their mouths. I did an Airbnb.
There is the leech.
Yeah,
there is
the leech.
The dick leech. You get a little taste of that.
Right, a little bit.
Which would have been terrible.
But I mean, but just in the air. I went a little bit too north in Maine during the pandemic once. We got an Airbnb. And it's like, you go to your car and you're just like, Jesus, we are just too much in the woods. And if you go a little too deep, the bugs are it's too much. But
it's too much.
I guess it wouldn't be a good movie if everyone's just like, bugs are annoying. But definitely it wouldn't be like a snake or something cool. It would be just a bug.
No, it's going to be a bug.
Bad water. Coming up next, I think we're doing a double feature.
Yes, we got a Tim Curry double feature, because why not? So up next, we are going to do The Shadow, which I feel like is a similar era to this film, but a very different vibe. It's sort of, I don't know, I don't think we've done a movie quite like The Shadow before, and it'll be fun to do.
It's Alec Baldwin's superhero movie?
Exactly,
yeah.
But I mean, I guess it's superhero. I guess superhero is the right word. It's sort of, I don't think of him quite as a superhero, but it is that he can become invisible. That's a superhero.
Kind of, yeah. Well, this was awesome, and can't wait for the next one.
Same here.
All right, later.
Later.